Okay, everyone, I decided to record this video so that I make sure that everyone across all campuses is on the same page. In this video, I just want to show you how to approach the individual XERO assignments. Basically, in your assignments, you are dealing with a company which is already operating, and they are switching from an old system to a cloud-based sort of software, which is XERO, right? So we want to know how to basically find out how to switch from an old system to XERO. Okay, so let's have a look at the assignment together. Let's have a look at the assignment together, and then we will be able to have a look at the dummy company that I created. So as you can see, the assignment says that when you create a new organization, you need to use your student ID number and your full name. Otherwise, obviously your submission will not be accepted. So make sure that you create a new company in XERO using your full name and a student ID number. And as you can see, here is a little bit of explanation about basically your decision of moving from your old system to a cloud-based software of XERO, and the date of conversion or date of switching to the new software is 1st of September 2019. And then this is the opening trial balance, and all the figures included in its trial balance are excluding GST except for account receivable and accounts payable, right? Then the accounts receivable is given from August. Now, what do you have here in your trial balance? In your trial balance, you have accounts receivable of $574,089, and then you have accounts payable of $352,560. As you can see, the invoices that you have from August is also $574.89, and this is from Okidoki, sales to Okidoki. And then you have accounts payable of $352,560, a purchase made from Wonder Workshop. Okay, and then the opening inventory at the beginning of September or at the end of August is also given to you, and that's excluding GST. It is $662,900, 20 cents. And as you can see, your opening inventory is the total amount of opening inventory excluding GST is same as what you can see in your opening trial balance. Okay, and the further information is also given to you. Now let's see, if you actually, before I go ahead, if you look at the end of the assignment on page 15 and 16, I have provided some instructions to you. You might want to actually go through that instruction or have a look at this video and find out how to approach the assignment. So to be simple, I basically made a simple company. Let's say this is my company and I want to switch from my old system to a new system of XERO. And yeah, so to switch on to XERO, this is my trial balance at 31st of August 2019. I have cash of $100, accounts receivable 1,100, accounts payable 2,200, inventory of $1,000, and the total is 2,200. All accounts are recorded excluding GST except for account receivable and accounts payable. Account receivable is from a sale made to Bike Unlimited on 20th of August 2019. I made a sale of 2 bikes to Bikes Unlimited, and every item is sold $550 including GST. Right, so every item is sold $550 including GST. Due date is 20th of September. Accounts payable is also from a purchase made from Wonder Workshop on 15th of August. Due date is 15th of September. Again, for to be simple, I made my sale figure, my sales price equal to the purchase price. So I made it quite simple here. So this is also including GST. Okay. Now, how many inventories do we have on hand at 31st of August 2019? We have 2 items of inventory, And those two items of inventory are road bikes. Item code is RB. And the total amount of inventory that we have on hand at 31st of August is $1,000 excluding GST. So that's basically my simple trial balance and dummy company that I want to get help from and then switch to XERO. So let's open XERO together. So log into XERO and I log into my account. I'm under the demo company, right? So I'm on the demo company. Let me actually bring it up here. So on the demo company, what I do is that basically I need to change my organization and add a new organization, right? So the name of company was what? The name of company was Dummy Co. Whatever 000064893. A second. So yeah. So that's the name of the company, and what I do is accounting education. My organization does accounting education, right? So I start the trial then. I click on start the trial. After I click on start the trial, I see the dashboard of my newly created organization on XERO. What I do, first of all, the first thing that I do is that I will have a look at my trial balance and I see what are the items included in my trial balance. So in the items included in my trial balance are cash, accounts receivable, accounts payable, inventory. Okay. Now what I do is that I click on accounting, then I click on advanced, right, and then I click on conversion balances. Before I click on conversion balances, I click on the star button here to make on the conversion balance as my favorite. So every time I click on accounting, I see conversion balance under my favorite, right? So I click on conversion balances. I have a look at, I click on show all accounts, right? And all accounts basically appear for me here. Okay. So before I enter my figures, I can search into this trial balance to see if all the accounts that I want are here. So what I can do is that I get help from the find option in my browser. I just search for cash at bank to see if the cash at bank is here. The cash at bank does not exist. So I have to go and create it, okay? So the items are not here, so I have to go and create it. So I go back to accounting. I click on chart of accounts. I click on the assets. And then I add an account, right? So let's say my asset account is current assets. I basically provide a code according to the decreasing order of liquidity. So you need to assign a code to every item of basically before I discuss about adding an asset. I tell you that, you know, this is the chart of accounts in XERO for the people in regions. I'm not sure if you know that. So this is the chart of accounts in XERO. So all items are listed in decreasing order of liquidity. So let's say if you want to add any other non-current asset here, the code should be after 721. So let's say if you want to add delivery van for that, the code should be 722, right? So and so on and so forth. So all items are listed in decreasing order of liquidity, and you need to assign a code to every item in a way that it stays in your balance sheet in a decreasing order of liquidity. So cash comes first, then you will have accounts receivable, then you have your prepaid accounts, then you will have inventories. For liability, again, they are listed in decreasing order of liquidity. initially you have current liabilities, then you have non-current liabilities. Equity accounts, the expense accounts, the code starts from 400, as you can see. So usually expenses are having a code around 400. And then your revenue accounts is simple. So the revenue are around 200 to 270. And the liability code is between 800 to 900. Okay. Now let's create that asset account. Go back to add account. And then what I do is that I put it on the current assets. The code I said, I choose a code which by that code I make sure that my asset account basically stays above accounts receivable. I call it cash at bank, and I make sure that I tick the box for enable payment to this account. So I save it. After I save it, the cash at bank is added under basically chart of accounts. As you can see, the cash at bank is added. Then what I will do is that I go back to the conversion balances. And now I click on show all accounts. Before I go further up, you see two options here: add comparative balances, which I don't have to do anything with this option. There is an option which is called conversion date. I need to click on conversion date, and I make sure that my conversion date or date of switching from my old system to XERO is September 2019. So date of switching from old system to the new system is September 2019. So I click on save. And now, because in the assignment, the date of switching is September, and in my dummy company, date of switching is also September. So I click on show all accounts, and now I will be able to record all my accounts. Okay. So I click on find using my browser find options. The first item that I search for is cash at bank. Cash at bank was $100. Then the other item that I search for is accounts receivable. So I record my account receivable, $1,100. The next item was accounts payable. So I recorded $2,200. And finally, the other item that I need to record is inventory. Inventory is $1,000 excluding GST. Okay. So after you record all the items, you see the total debit side is equal to the total credit side. Okay. So everything is fine up to this stage. And as you can see at the top, it says that you have not yet confirmed the balances below. So it's very important we click on save button to continue. Otherwise, all the assignment will go wrong. It is important that we see at the top that our balances is saved. Okay. So let's click on save. And what will happen is that XERO forward us to this stage. It means that at this stage, we have to record the invoices from months of August, okay? And what XERO actually tells us at this stage, it tells us that our account receivable is balanced out by $1,100. Either we have to add a credit note or add an invoice. So in this case, we have an invoice, right? So if we look at the my dummy company, I had an invoice here for accounts receivable, $1,100. Okay, so let me go back to XERO. Now, in terms of adding the invoice, because I don't have any inventory item on my hand, I haven't really created any inventory item in XERO. I initially need to go and create my inventory items. Okay, so what I do, I click on business, I click on product and services, and then I click on new item and record my inventory item. Okay, so item code I said is RB, item name is road bike, the purchase price including GST is $550, sales price including GST is $550. Okay, now purchase account is $310, cost of goods sold account, sale account is $200, sale account. At this stage, I do not track the item because I'm switching from an old system to the new system, and I'm not required to track the item for an old system, right? So I don't track the item. If you do track the item at this stage, everything goes wrong in your assignment. So don't track the item at this stage. So I clicked save, and my inventory is basically added up. Is added. So it's added to my product and services. Now I would be able to go and add the invoices. So once again, I click on accounting, I click on conversion balances. And what I can do is that I can click on save, and it will direct me once again to my invoice. So I click on add the invoice. I understand that I was basically selling, I was selling inventories to Bikes Unlimited. And the date was 20th of August to 20th of September. I was selling 2 road bike, including GST. So every item in Australia, any item which is sold, it includes GST, right? Tax exclusive is for Canada or countries like Canada. So in those countries, usually when you go to the supermarket, items are in the supermarket excluding GST. Now, when you go to the cashier tells you that that's the GST that you have to pay, or GST, PST or whatever in your city, and that's what you need to pay on top of your item. So in Australia, all taxes are included on the item. So make sure that in your assignment also all items before you approve include GST. Right? So you click on save, and that's your account receivable from August. So it's basically matched. So you see that after I click on save, it says your total sale invoice match your total account receivable. You can click on next to continue. And there is a tick box. So I click on next. Then it says that your total accounts payable is now balanced out. Now I have to add my bill from month of August. The bill that I have to add is in this dummy company is a bill for $2,200, right? Sorry, 4,000. Let me go back. Just the accounts payable at 31st of August is 2,200, and I purchased 4 road bikes from Wonder Workshop 15th of August to 15th of September. So I check it back. So it's Wonder Workshop. 15th of August to 15th of September, and road bike, and how many items? 4 items, 220, 2,200, and tax inclusive, right? So I click on save. Once again, I should get that message that my accounts payable, yes, your total bills match your total accounts payable. Click on next to continue. So my accounts payable or bill from August is also added up. So then I click on next. After I click on next, it says that the balances are saved for period 1st of July 2019 to 31st of August 2019. It is very important that you see that message. Otherwise, as I said, all your assignment will go wrong. So to make sure that everything is saved, once again I click on save, and I just would like to see that message at the top, right? So make sure that you go through this step 2 or 3 times to save your opening trial balance, right? Now the next stage is to add up the opening inventory. So before I add up the opening inventory, let's have a look at the actual assignments. So in your actual assignment, you have the trial balance. So in your trial balance, you need to have a look at the opening trial balance in XERO and see which accounts are there and which accounts need to be added up. Any account which is not here needs to be added up in your chart of accounts, okay? After you add up these accounts in your chart of accounts, you enter the opening balances into the trial balance. Then after you record the opening balance in the trial balance, you click on save, and then you go and the XERO basically asks you to record the invoices from months of August. So you record the invoices from months of August, Then XERO asks you to record the invoices from months of August. Record the bills from months of August. So I record the bills from months of August, and then finally you need to add your inventories on hand at 31st of August, or your opening inventory. So to actually add my opening inventory, I click on business, I click on product and services, and then I go back to my inventories, which I created before. But I didn't tick the box for I track this item. So I click on inventory, I edit the item, and at this stage, before importing the opening, before basically importing the opening balances, I track the item. After I click on track the item, what will happen is that because you're switching from periodical to perpetual, it asks you what is the cost of goods sold account. Cost of goods sold is 310, and I make it sure that its cost of goods sold account is 310, and then I click on save. Make sure that the inventory asset account is 630 inventory, okay? So don't change it to anything else. So I click on save, and it says the item is updated. Now I can go back to the inventories again, so I just click on inventory at the top again, and under product and services, I click on the import option. So when I click on the import option, there is an option for importing the opening balances, right? So I click on import the opening balances, and it's asked me a number of questions, 5 questions. What is the date of your opening balance? The date of opening balance is the date of conversion or date of switching from old system to the new system. So at this stage, my date of opening balance is 1st of September 2019. What account holds the value of your inventory? 630 inventory, and download the template containing your tracked inventory items. You see that we tracked the inventory item before, so that's why we tracked it. Now we can download this template and add up our inventory items. Okay. So let's wait for the Excel to open up. So what I do is that this is as you can see, this is the item code. This is the item that I basically tracked. The inventory account is 630. Quantity at the moment is 0. I have to change it to 2 because I have 2 inventories at the beginning of the month. The value excluding GST is $1,000. The adjustment account is also 630. Okay. So I save the file, save as, browse, and I make sure that I put it on my desktop, and I just save it as something that I can remember what I saved. So I call it dummy co 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, and I put it on the desktop. So yeah, many of them here. And the format of the file is CSV. Make sure it is CSV. You don't change it to Excel or anything else. Just the format should be CSV. So I save it on the desktop, and then I close it. After I close it, it says that enter your opening balances, which I entered, and then upload the updated template. So I browse, and I go to the desktop, and I should be able to find dummy co 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I don't know what. Yep, so it's dummy co 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I click on continue. Every step is completed. It's 1st of September 2019. I click on continue. And as you can see, it says that import summary. I imported one item, $1,000. Balance is matching up with the balance in my trial balance. And then I click on complete import. So the import has been completed. As you can see, the quantity of inventory now has changed to 2 inventories on hand at the beginning of the month. What I will do is that at this stage, I go back to my conversion balance once again, and I make sure that the opening trial balance is saved. And to make sure that everything is correct, I can click on reports, right? And what I do is that I make sure that I untick the star button here for the new balance sheet and new profit and loss, because I don't want these two. What I want is the older version of the balance sheet and the older version of the profit and loss. That's what I want. In my accounting also, what I want is the older version of the trial balance, right? So I make sure that I make them my favorites. I can actually have a look at my trial balance to make sure that it is recorded correctly at the beginning of the month. So I changed the date to 1st of September 2019. I sorted based on account code and I updated. And yes, it is 2200, 2200. And that's my simple trial balance at the beginning of the month, right? Now, one more thing in terms of the assignments, in terms of your real assignment, what you are doing in your real assignment, everything is recorded based on what we taught you in your workshops. The only issue that you will have in terms would be in terms of recording the non-current assets. In our workshops, we mentioned that non-current assets are recorded through the spend money functions, right? If you want to record the non-current assets, or if you want to make a purchase of a non-current asset, or if you want to depreciate the non-current asset, you do them through the spend money function in a demo company. But if you look at the spend money function in the trial company, it doesn't allow you to record or purchase or sell or basically depreciate a non-current asset until you add a bank account. And we don't want to add any bank account for the trial company. So the way that we actually record the purchase or sale or depreciation of a non-current asset would be through the manual journal entries. So where you can find the manual journal entries, you go on the reports, you go on the accounting, and I tick the box for journal report, and that's how you find the manual journal entry. So go to journals and add the new journal. So this is how you do actually manually record. It's called manual journals. So you record them through manual journal entries. So that's basically how you approach the assignment. So let's go back, have a quick look at the assignment. In the assignment also, as you can see, this is the inventories at the 31st of August. There's some further information given to you that you basically needed through the assignment. These are the items of inventory. So you're dealing with a baby sort of product company and baby sort of product retailer, and then these are the transactions for the months that you have to record, and then you will have the requirements that we can discuss about requirements later on. So yeah, so that's how you approach the assignment. Good luck with your assignment, and yeah, if you have any question, either ask me or ask your instance coordinator or ask your workshop leader. We have SST program in the Bandura campus. You may want to get help from the SST program. Yeah, that's about it, and good luck with your assignment. Thank you and good night.